Clucking chicken. Clucking rooster.
The dirty bowl. Best
Bonjour,
ramen, best ramen in Portland.
Y'all come back here, you mean? No, don't encourage me. Don't encourage this type of behavior. This needs to lay dormant. I don't need to be making jokes like that till I have like 2 kids or something. You know, in a station wagon.
I think, yeah, we're good. Probably got people joining slowly again. So what'd you say?
Everyone, which bar bathroom does this remind you of? Memories, right?
Oh yeah.
Take your pick.
Sweet memories.
Which dive bar are we in right
The
now?
Matador on West Burnside.
Ooh. Oh yeah, MFPs at one point.
They had those big toilets. I think they had some shaped like lips too.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I miss that dive bar. Right now, I miss that dive bar.
Yeah, me too.
We'll be there again.
Someday.
Yeah.
In very near future.
So everybody, thanks for coming
People
back.
can keep their shit together.
They're moving the porta potty, it looks like.
Interesting.
No big deal.
Where is this porta potty? Oh.
I wonder if those...
Okay.
It's theirs now.
Making a little arrangement.
Yeah, you know.
Changing things up a little bit.
Maybe somebody's in there.
Tip it! Tip it and find out. Oh,
No, that's gross.
that's a smelly one.
Gross for somebody cleaning it up.
I think they're
Hey,
moving.
big shout out to the people who clean up the porta potties at Burning Man.
Yeah. I think
Oh
they're
god,
moving
any festival really, but I would imagine those sit there for a week.
No, they get cleaned
Every
multiple
day?
times a day.
Okay.
Those guys are badass. They're really
Yeah.
busy. It's a big operation.
No.
More fighting over here.
You know what? More peace and love needs to be spread. This is
Peace
fine.
and love.
Fighting the wrong people, fighting the wrong fights that need to be fought. It takes time and effort, and more importantly, energy.
Here, since they took out the trash cans.
Oh wow.
And all the benches are gone because they didn't want people to use the benches. You know, because like they're pulling them out into the street at night, but putting them back too. They don't want people doing anything with the benches or using the park.
I would think no, the reason they probably care about that. Before it used to be like more of a lunch spot kind of thing. People would hang out once in a while.
Yeah.
Like that. I think now that they know that that's not going to come back anymore.
Well, being a city
why
park,
keep it
this is
around? Why
supposed to
invest
have
in it? Why
certain
maintain it? Most importantly, which
But
costs money.
as a city park, this is supposed to have things like EDA accommodations, places to sit.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
so
when taxpayers
true.
are giving
That
the
is
money
so
and
true.
the taxpayers are using it and they're the ones giving the money for it, if that's not the case, they don't care. You know? As long as the park that they're using by their house or what they have access to.
And then this was the founders statue here. And they didn't like it getting defaced regularly in the way that people wanted to see it. It's sort of like the elk, same story here.
Yeah.
They just disappeared it a little more quickly though.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were like writing stolen land on it.
Oh yeah. Is this the Thomas Jefferson statue?
No, it was the family.
Is that who? I don't remember which statue was
It was
here.
a man, a woman, and their child. The child looked like Mark Hamill.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And so people would just like paint the faces or
Sounds
hang
like a nice
plants from
statue.
the guy was pointing, like
Okay.
skating with his wife and child.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Or maybe it's called the Settlers.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Hopefully
So-
that one doesn't come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of
think
these
that's
statues I think are just going to disappear.
Make a pizza statue.
And be replaced
Yes.
with something better.
Ode to pizza. So there's one of the other cameras on that pole. Looks like it needs more balloons.
If anyone wants to come down and put up some balloons.
I bring my high-power flashlight down here
rock
at night.
climbers, I would imagine.
But yeah, flashlights are good for if you don't want cameras to be looking
I
at
can't help but to feel this feeling of that, like, I feel like everything's still being monitored here and very carefully watched.
Oh yeah,
But not even remotely being acted upon. Like I could feel the obvious split line of how much they care and how much they don't give a flying fuck at the same time.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
For the tension
They're
of
just
the
doing
community
everything
here.
as a show.
Yeah, I mean, they're protecting what they want to protect for sure, you know. But it's funny because they say it's for people and everything else, but it's obviously not.
It's surprisingly
Even
quiet down here.
not even not monitoring their infighting over here, even just to care of them as normal citizens, you know what I mean? Like, do these have to be rich taxpayers for the police to come out and not probably help someone out over here that's obviously having trouble, you know?
Community support, right?
You know, even example, the man over here earlier is freaking out. Like, obviously he's having some issues. Probably like a bad drug reaction, maybe just a mental breakdown of some sort. Either way, he needs some help. He doesn't need to be thrown in jail. He doesn't necessarily do anything illegal, but obviously he needs some kind of help to calm down.
Yeah.
But no, they're not going to help that. They're not going to call an EMT or the psychiatrist in the cop unit. They don't care. They're supposed to care about people. Obviously, in that situation, their job's instinct to be, how can I help this guy?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, fuck him. Because you can tell all they were thinking like that right there was.
Oh, well, you know, when PPB...
Yeah, they just ignored them. That's typical, either aggression or ignore
you guys hanging out here
people,
almost get hit by cars in the street.
Just
their thoughts like, fuck, if he gets hit.
You know,
They're like, they just Rocky Ford him. They're like, if he dies, he dies. You know, like, you can't do that.
So they're not
Help
even shy about it.
Yeah.
So PPB has been live streaming, which is, you know, against the law for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But one of them was they're on their riot truck riding away. One of the cops like yelled to somebody, "Go home," and the other one's like, "Oh, they live there." They're like, "All right, go back to your tent." They're like making fun of this homeless person. The guy almost fell off the truck right after, which was great. But it's just like, is this how they serve the community? Really?
Right.
Like heckling homeless people from their fucking riot truck?
I think there should
Depends
be
on your
like a
definition of serve.
complete like fire rehire situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the town in New Jersey that did that to abolish their police department?
Is that what they
They had the
did?
community like that every officer.
Yeah,
That.
I think that's a great idea. Gives everyone an opportunity to kind of take a look at whether they should even be there. There's great police out there, right, that are very meaningful and should be involved.
They've been doing it for like 8 years.
We need police, you know, but we need good police officers, people that care about the community.
Well, and some people think that, you know, that doesn't look like police officers.
Yeah.
And that could be the case. Like if we,
so where do you see the change then?
I mean, I have an irrational hope for radical change, which would be, you know, abolishment of everything we know as police now. There's other things that those people could do, but it all starts with taking away their deadly weapons. They need to be out here without guns, without anything, you know, give them plastic shields if they feel so threatened. Yeah, that's what they do in South Korea.
Well, I think, I lived in South Korea. I mean, they're police officers, but no guns. Guns were actually illegal in that country outside of the military.
Yeah, and even
then I don't.
You get a real dynamic
even then I don't think the military
you know, the riot police. Who everybody wants it to go off.
In certain cases, the argument will be made, well, what happens if the criminal has the guns? Okay, then you bring in a special unit that specializes in the criminals with the guns. Does that mean we need all cops to be so heavily armed in that sense?
You know, it's funny because the first thing
but
they
like, of course, having that is necessary at times, but like not for everybody. You know, like you need it for like a SWAT team for like obviously like if a Colombian drug lord has a hacienda.
See, I don't know.
But not like if like two dudes are like selling coke on the corner or something like that. So it's like, okay, you can have there's obviously weapons and things you can use.
Teams, I think, are always better.
Yeah, you don't need an armored truck for those two guys. You know they'll justify it. They're dangerous men.
Like, that step
well,
up.
You know, I don't know. I feel like the most radical thing isn't going to happen, which is them, you know, taking off their riot gear, not having it in the first place, and being more part of the community,
you know,
not bringing in officers from outside the community. It is a little bit of a baby step sometimes with change, right? It does take patience on our end, you know. Sometimes I feel like that's what's missing right now, you know? Well, yeah, that's the thing is like...
I think most of our generation, like, we tend to be a little more impatient with things.
But, you know, a lot of people, they don't see the patience in, like, what everybody's trying to do outside of what's out here.
Yeah.
You know, there's people taking, you know, legal action against what's happened.
Oh, absolutely.
There's people, like, trying to, you know, going to these committee meetings and, like, pressuring the city council to take action. The problem that we're seeing now, though, is that everything's too late, too slow, and it's not protecting the community. It's not providing, it's not providing the change that the community wants.
Right.
Because the community is.
Well, let's be honest, change should have
Wanting
happened a long time ago.
Well, they don't have any connection with the community, so they're trying to fix a problem they don't even know how to fix because they've never been
They're
there.
out of touch.
To learn how it works in the first place. I mean, we talk about it, but that's like reason why it's not there, because you're not a part of it. You don't know. How could you know how to fix something you don't know about? You know?
Right.
It's the same. I can't fix a car if I don't know how to fix cars. It's pretty simple, right? I don't know. It just seems insane to me that, like, some of these people are going to try to do this. And that's where, like, the power grabs things that come. That's how you end up with your wall of moms situations and things like that. Good intentions, you know what I mean? No knowledge, no real... And in some cases, no real heart and passion. Now, a heart and passion, you can have a drive. But then a heart and passion is another thing, you know? Like, you can be driven, but you still have a lot to pick up on and learn. It's fun. Heart and passion and soul is not just enough, too. You have to have, like, being. You have to know. You have to, like, know people. There's a reality that sets in with it all. Like, simply... It sucks. It's a shitty reality, but simply caring isn't enough, you know? All the good intentions in the world, other stuff has to be applied. This is not to downplay anybody in a way. Like, this is for me too. There's a lot I have to learn along the way with all this too. But I have to humble myself to do it. So I'm willing to do.
There's
you know,
a balance, right, between learning and taking action.
Yeah.
You know, and so like earlier you said it's been busy. You haven't had that much time to process. Like, that time to process and heal is so important. You know, rest and recover. You know, and that way you can be in for the long haul. Because there is like so many avenues. This is going to be a lifelong work, right? So this is just a piece of it. I think Portland has done a great job at highlighting a lot of the, the peaceful protesting. You have seen some of the more aggressive protesting, which I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on that. I definitely feel torn about it. You know, some people have the message that it's the same, just different avenues of functioning and making that change happen. But as long as the message is the same, that's impactful, right? And that's fighting for the injustices of Black people and people of color.
Well, and I think a lot of people would call, what is called aggressive protesting just a natural, like, organic response to the police violence, where this thing happens where, especially, and this doesn't get mentioned much, but those times where people are just standing around and they attack without warning.
Yeah.
Or maybe they make LRAD announcements saying it's an unlawful assembly. What's that?
You want to stand in front?
Oh, okay. I think this is working for the sound.
Okay.
When that provocation happens by the police, then we get this split in the protest where the peaceful protest gets pushed back, and then you got the front line protest of people who are like, you got the shields and they're throwing water bottles, kind of keeping them busy.
Right.
But it's all, that reaction to them, like, harassing us in the first place.
What do you think about it, DQ? How do you feel about peaceful versus, non-peaceful protesting? Do you feel like one is more impactful than the other?
Good. It varies. Depends on who you are and how you want to do it. I don't know. For us, like for Black people in this sense, having an initial, I wouldn't say even violent crowd, just an outcry and showing a presence. Because a lot of stuff that's even happened from Black people from this hasn't necessarily been violent. In my opinion, I've noticed a lot more groups that have done more of the burnings. Most of them tend to be more white. I'm not saying some Black people haven't done this, but I've kind of just watched the video, right? But I think it matters in a sense where, like, even for Black people right now, like, as angry as we are and all that happens, like, we've been angry for a while now. Like, a lot of it's just like, what's new? So some of this is new rage, because some people are just feeling the rage we've been feeling our whole lives.
And so violence is like their sort of reaction.
They're just kind of like, and they're still there. I'm like, yo, like, this is all we already felt for a long time. I've been doing this for years, If you listen to me on the radio, you hear me yelling, this ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
But, like, it's one of those things at the same time, like, yeah, in some cases you have to do that to get your message across. Now, what kind of violence are we talking about? Do we want to hurt people? Do we want to hurt buildings? Do we want to hurt systems and stuff? I think it depends on, like, how you're viewing that as well.
Did you see
But I think when it comes to certain violence, when, like, the violence is, like, if violence in response to, like, being murdered and, like, feeling your life is threatened in that sense, it's kind of hard to, like, measure what one would do. after the fact when your back's against the wall and you're facing death. Yeah, you're gonna do whatever you have to do. Anyone would do that. Just like more or less in a sense what these people are doing when they kill us. Like what's the excuse? Like I felt my life was in danger.
And how do you feel about Kimberly Jones's opinion? You know, the speech that she gave, How Can We Win? Talking about why it makes sense, why people want to burn it all down.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't necessarily see anything wrong with what she said. I mean, it's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
It's all been a ticking time bomb, really, man. If you ask me, from little nicks and scratches here and there, from like, sorry, I don't have anything, brother. I'm sorry, man. But it's all been like built up, you know what I mean, like some tension from years. Especially more recent, like incidents in some ways. But like, if you figure like you can only be pushed so far, especially after your own personal experiences. So after seeing what's happening in society for a while, and more things being pressured in your own personal life, getting older, and especially for a generation, you can only take so much. So we hit that breaking point, I mean, like, honestly, like, I don't think it even I think the only thing that really set off as a solid catalyst is actually the being on the lockdown as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it gave everyone a chance to kind of focus on it. There wasn't too much else to look at. Because it's like George Floyd, that's happened before. I mean, some of the people are posting videos like, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was 6 years ago."
Yeah.
I'm not, and it's not to downplay it all in a sense, you know what I mean? But it's hard. It's hard to get as risen as I can tell some people are right now, because I've already been that hype. I'm at the same level of hypeness I was at before. Different actions are being taken and other things, but like I'm still just as hype as I was 4 years ago when I started getting on the radio, yapping my mouth about this sort of stuff. Or trying to go into schools and talk to kids, or at least try to give them a voice to how to talk about their realm of things, to watch things around them change. So I think that going forward, I mean, violence is going to be, here's the thing, violence is going to happen again. From what end and what levels it's going to happen has to be determined. Because people are going to flare up, emotions are going to get bigger. Election season hasn't even happened. Trump hasn't even left the White House. People won't be happy about him leaving the White House. People are going to get extreme for a minute here, and that's that should be expected. That should be the reality everyone expects. I'm not saying we have to arm ourselves and go out and go beat up the opposition.
Right.
But like, I think you still have to have the mentality that you're willing to fight for it. Do you have to fight and beat someone up? Hopefully not. But I think you'll be lying to yourself if you say it, like if you don't put a warrior's mentality on yourself to do that, Yeah.
Okay, well, shall we wrap up for the day?
Yeah.
Cool.
Get out of here. I see too many feds rolling, and it's too hype around here. We should
I think that
let's get
I see an
out of here.
opportunity to maybe do this kind of thing again too.
Yeah.
Because this, there's a lot to talk about out here, obviously.
Yeah, and
Especially
things are constantly changing too, every day.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Well, let's wrap up.
Wrapping it up.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, on here on our
Cool.
Facebook Live. We'll catch you later. Please comment all your rude comments and all your good comments. We'll take that as solid critiques, and we'll use it to better ourselves in the future. This is more of a test thing for us, too, so yeah, that's what we wanted to get out. So yeah, critiques are welcome in that situation. If anything, just be productive and tell us what you want to see. What would help more? What would you like to have access to, or just what would make the experience better, or what we could do to help inform you better, to keep you there.
Did you want to plug your show?
Nah.
No. Okay.
No, yeah, things are in the works now, but trust me, you'll see some more stuff coming from me soon, so don't worry.
Awesome.
You'll
Great.
hear about it when
Well,
you hear about it.
Thanks for the tour.
Yes. So that's DQ
All right.
and Christy. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, guys.
And I might be back later tonight. We'll see. I don't know. Every day is an